Anyang!
Annyeong!
Team 12 has returned. And today, we are reviewing Attack on Titan, Chapter 93, The Dark Knight Train. I added the, but that's just me. Translation
Yeah,
errors.
well, I mean, the Dark Knight, it's
Yeah.
instinct at this
The
point.
Dark Knight Train
Rises.
rises. Gobb, always a pleasure to see you.
Nimbus, I wish I could say the same.
Someday you will. Someday you will.
Maybe, probably not.
Yeah, this is a pretty interesting chapter we got today. We literally just reviewed Attack on Titan, episode 5.
I mean, I was not expecting this to come out as quickly as it did. The last one came out like April 6th or 7th, so it's been under a month since we've gotten it. 2 in 1 month has been fantastic.
Yeah, I don't know what the scheduling is over there, but it did release with this new volume cover, and it's pretty spoilery if you're just kind of looking at covers and just discovering the series now, but I guess this whole video will just spoil the crap out of anyone who watches it, so let's jump right in. Doesn't work as good as the last video, but...
Yeah, well, we can't have jokes every time.
We'll try, though. Goddamn, we'll try. So we jump back into the meeting of the Marley people, and they're discussing the previous battle that just ended and the future.
Yeah, so we ended with the last one where, in the last chapter, there was like, oh, Marley wins, and it's this big victory, and maybe not so much. Like, from the sounds of it, the fact that they finally lost a Titan was a pretty big deal. I don't think that this has ever happened to Marley before.
Oh, yeah, and basically the conversation that happens here, Zeke looks like a badass. You know, you got Colt standing there behind him. Zeke is training Colt. There's some vibes that he might be his father. It's not confirmed in this, but it is.
But
hinted.
I'm pretty sure Colt would be Aaron's nephew.
Exactly. Half nephew.
Yeah, I guess
okay,
Say they have the same father but different mothers, so that would be
exactly
half.
Yeah. So they're all talking, but it makes it seem like they've lost the armored Titan. So.
Mm-hmm. And that's a pretty big one. The armored Titan is a pretty powerful Titan.
I thought Reiner was dead based on this conversation, but that wasn't exactly the case.
Nope.
After this conversation happens, we get some dialogue between Colt and Zeke. You know, they're outside. Zeke's having his cig, and Colt just keeps literally looking up to him and saying, you know, you're special not just because of the blood, but you're just special and you can do things normal.
So you get one of the biggest reveals that I remember in a while with the reason that the Beast Titan can control all these other Titans. Because the way that they've turned all of these humans into Titans is through his spinal fluid. And so that gives him that extra ability to control everyone, which is a huge power.
Exactly. He gets an additional power tapped on. So, you know, these are these special Titans, but Aaron and Zeke are now seen as super special. I don't know another way of saying it.
So they share that royal blood. They have that. They have something within them that makes them special. It's the classic Naruto. Really, most animes where once you have that special blood, like there aren't many characters in the anime world who don't have some special reason for being the best.
Right, and the main characters are always extra special. Like for example, you can see here, this is Zeke talking about the Titans that Paradise have right now, and you see Aaron with 2 of those little sunny, it kind of looks like little suns, creepier though. You know, he's got 2. They still are under the impression that Bertolt is out there, and Annie, you know, maybe she is, but who would get that one? Mikasa?
But that shows that they are like way behind with their information. That they think that Bertolt's still operating, and Annie Lionheart is. I mean, she's still there, but she's not functioning. And I'm guessing we got to hear about her sometime soon.
Yeah, I mean, haven't heard about her since chapter like 26 or something like that, 27. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, this leads into the next most important part. that
which seems like every single portion of this chapter was the next most important part.
Yeah, exactly. It was just one big thing after another, and we see Galliard. How are you pronouncing it, Gobb?
Galliard is how I would pronounce it.
Right. So we actually are now able to put a face to the Titan. This is the Beast Titan's normal form, and we actually learn a little bit more about him, that he's actually the brother of Marcel. And now the anime watchers, people watching the anime, know that we
just saw this.
We just saw that. We just went over it yesterday. There's literally a picture of Ymir eating Marcel's head.
Yeah.
And Bertold and Reiner are running away.
Yeah.
So just always connections, always little things being revealed.
I mean, that's what I've come to realize more and more is no little thing was just included because it should have been, because they just like didn't have anything better to do. Every single little piece is always connecting to the next one.
It's all meaningful. Everything is there for a reason. And we learn more about this Titan. Not a super popular Titan. I'm calling it the cannon back Titan.
I mean, armored. I guess it can't be armored Titan, but it's the artillery Titan.
Yeah, something like that. Not super important. She actually is on crutches because she's been in the Titan form so much that she's almost forgotten how to walk on two legs.
Which is just kind of incredible.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's weird. It fits right into this anime.
Yeah, man, this whole anime is just disgusting and weird and like, sometimes.
Her name is Poco, by the way.
Poco, yeah.
Poco. So obviously, you see that Galliard obviously does not. Galliard. We see that Galliard does not trust Reiner. Reiner is really just he's seen as a coward, and
Galliard, he ran away.
Exactly. Galliard says, if I was the one who got the armor Titan ability, I would be the one. I would have saved my brother that day.
But yeah, and he asked like, "Oh, when you saw the memories, did you see me abandon? Or I didn't see you abandon him, but I know that you did."
Right. Yeah. Which brings us to another good point. Now that you mentioned that it almost seemed like he ate Ymir, because you do see Ymir on that sacrificial platform, and he makes it seem like he did eat her, and therefore tap into
like
memories.
what Historia almost did to Eren. Exactly.
So he must have eaten her, and it's a really sad portrait of her that we see, and I'm wondering if she had taken the Jaw Titan abilities, and she was actually the Jaw Titan when she did shapeshift.
Yeah, I mean, very well could have been, because we haven't really had any confirmation on what sort of Titan she was.
Exactly, and she was a mindless Titan for 70 years or something like that.
I think it was 60 years.
Yes.
And it's interesting that while she was a mindless Titan, she didn't actually age.
Right, yeah, and the special Titan, that time limit you get once you become a special Titan, clearly did not affect her at all in any way, and she actually was able to live longer because of the Titan power.
Yeah.
All right, so let's jump into the next part. This is Reiner's kind of memories. Here on the bottom you see the kids he's almost mentoring, and on the top you see his friends the memories of his friends. Literally all of them are gone.
And this kind of drove home a point that I hadn't really realized before, but that there was kind of this whole overarching, like, they were a military group within another military group. So they still had their like loyalty to the 104th in a weird way, but I just didn't really put together that Reiner kind of lost all of his friends. Like, they all either died or Annie was like captured. It went really poorly for all of them, so that has to really be weighing on him.
Right, and I think he sees what happened with his friends, and he does see a lot of similarities with these kids that he's mentoring or guiding, and I wonder if it's going to affect the decisions he makes or the advice that he gives them.
I bet you that it will. I think that this is going to be something that you'll see, that the way that the first round of this went down is going to have a huge impact on the decision making in the next round.
Right, so now we kind of see Reiner's obviously super important, and they're discussing, they did go over and say that Reiner has 2 years left on his contract. Is that what they were calling it? Or term?
Tenure.
Yeah, it's so weird that they're literally saying you're living for 2 more years according to your tenure. Messed up. So we got this isn't. People think Gabby should be the next one to become the Armor Titan. Gabby? Yeah, Gabby. We got the translator up
Gabby's getting the Ymira treatment, where she's being treated as a god.
Right. So basically, what's happening is Gabby is the one who seems to be the next one up in line to become the Armor Titan, but Reiner is talking to Falco and saying, you know what, you got to save her here. You're the one who has to step up and take this from me.
Yep.
And, you got Zeke on the other hand with Colt, and he's saying, Colt, you're coming up next. There's a secret I have to tell you. And he has to kind of cover that up. So it'll be interesting to see what memories Colt inherits, if we'll learn about anything Zeke's doing. I'm getting kind of an Itachi vibe from this. Itachi being Zeke and Eren being Sasuke.
I could definitely see this. Where that's something that I just started to see kind of later on in this chapter, was that it seemed like for the first time Zeke had the reasons that he was doing what he was doing. There was some sort of regret in him. There was some sort of wishing that he hadn't done what he did before and is going to set things right. And I'm really curious to see what his secret is.
Yeah, and I was kind of thinking too, because we got those flashback where Zeke actually said, my parents are going to betray you. What kid would do that? Was he being hypnotized, or did Eren Kruger, the owl, go up to him and say, you got to do this. This is for the greater good. And he just kind of followed along, and he was given this task by the owl to set these series of events in motion.
I mean, that's a very good thought. That he knew that by doing this, it would kind of spark the thing that would lead to their freedom. Right. And so selling out his parents had to have been hard, but for the greater good, maybe he did it, which is almost exactly what Itachi was asked to do.
Exactly. And maybe the owl's intention was to get Eren's father onto that island with
the royal blood.
Exactly. He saw that was the connection, and he had to literally plan this out from the beginning. I cannot wait to see if we get any more backstory with the owl.
I think that we will. I think that we're going to start to see a lot of flashbacks and sort of filling in the story that we've been promised this whole time. That you're going to start to see real answers come out in a way that we haven't seen before.
Exactly. And I'm seeing a lot of full circle events going in motion here.
I'm just seeing a lot of Naruto.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Naruto. Seriously.
So I think at this point we're going to be seeing this. We now know that Eren has 2 Titans powers within him, which means if you can have 2 Titan powers within him, right there, then you can have more. Which maybe you're going to see the Naruto with his 9 tails Jinchuriki and getting all of the other tailed beasts into one body, so maybe get all of the Titan powers into one body. And I'm saying you see a flying Titan, because they bring up this offhand, there are no Titans with flying powers, which means at some point it's got to be a Titan with flying powers.
There probably will. In the last chapter too, we literally saw Titans falling from the sky. There's a lot of different things that are making us think, okay, maybe they're actually foreshadowing a flying Titan. Now, Eren Kruger was the owl. That's a flying animal. Falco, I don't know. I played Star Fox, and I know that guy's a bird. Falco, in that first chapter he's introduced, was also introduced with the eagle soaring through. So if Eren can collect a couple, and Falco can too, and maybe Eren will sacrifice himself into Falco in the future, we get a 10-tailed beast that can summon a tree with the fruit on it, which is where I think the Titan power comes from. That's the
most likely scenario.
Well, it's funny because the Titans came from a fruit that came from a tree. Kind of like what happened in the myth. There's a few different myths.
I forgot about that.
there's a couple different myths out there. It's hard to choose what to actually believe. Maybe we'll go over that one day, the comparison between Attack on Titan and Naruto.
But I mean, yeah. So yeah, I think that for the first time, really since I've been reading it, there's a more clear understanding of what's going to happen in this world, and like we're feels like we're just starting to switch from the like story setting, adding in new questions, constantly learning about new things that you need to learn about, to finally the answering question, like the answering of questions, where you're going to start to see real resolutions to all the things we've been dealing with.
I completely agree with you. I think they're putting the finishing touches on and saying, here's all the information laid out here, and now this is how it happens. This is the story. And yeah. I guess that'll just bring us to our closing thoughts. You want to start with yours, Gobb?
Yeah, the only other thing that I kind of wanted to bring up was over here that they were talking about the Ackerman family as like some like offshoot of Titan experimentation. So there's some reason that these two in particular are as amazingly powerful as they are.
Right.
And I'm curious what that is. I can't imagine what would be kind of the offshoot of the Titan stuff that would create these two super powerful things. And it also makes me think about the fact that Mikasa was like the only pure-blooded Japanese person that we've dealt with in this whole series.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how the story is going to wrap up. I think this family, the Ackermans, will be a huge part of it. Maybe I don't know, maybe the Jaegers die along with the Titans in the end, but the Ackermans are the ones who start the new world. I don't know what's going to happen, but again, they just get highlighted. I feel like this chapter really, again, just put all the pieces on the table and said, here's all the important crap. Now we're going to see what happens with all of them, and this is just reminding us that the Ackermans, after the time skip, are very important.
So what are your closing thoughts?
I just want to know if this is the first Armin Colossal Titan shot.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it is, because it's a hypothetical going on in Zeke's head.
Or if it actually is what's happening.
Right, exactly. This could be exactly what's happening, and I mean, is this really... It's not the first time we've seen different people use the same Titan ability, because Eren, obviously, his father, and the one who had it before him, the Owl, we've seen them in the form which is very similar to Eren's form.
Yeah.
I wonder how different it'll be. You kind of see Bertolt's face in there before. Let's see what happens. It's the first time it's not a family member kind of, you know.
Again, yeah, we're finally starting to get to that point. We're going to get some real answers.
Yes, I am extremely excited to see what happens, how these new characters interact with the old, who lives, who dies.
Yeah, so I think that's about it. If you liked the video, please subscribe. It should be right down there on Nimbus's face. And there are a couple other videos that we're going to put right about, let's say, here and here, for you to keep on looking at. And yeah, if you liked what we said, please comment below. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Yeah, I think that's it. All that's left is a little Team 12 out.